Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is an opportunity to showcase the Now Assist custom skill on ServiceNow with the use case of a knowledge article review. So just quickly, my name is Stuart Shipp. I'm an advisory solution consultant based in Auckland, New Zealand, working within the Alliances and Channels ecosystem. It's my second year at ServiceNow, but 16 years in service delivery, and previously I was with a ServiceNow partner. Areas of focus around solution architecture, technology strategy, and solution development. Safe harbor as always in play as we go through this. So first off, just a little bit of sort of administration. You need to have the Xanadu release. And then for your particular user that you're using, they have to have the sn_skill_builder.admin role and the now.assist.creator. So what does that actually mean, custom? Well, we've got all these what we call out-of-the-box capabilities for various workflows from ITSM, HR, etc. But the custom skill is moving into that area of generative AI use cases, obviously that are not provided out of the box. And you can create them using something we call the Now Assist Skill Kit, and then within flows and scripts that go on from there. So how to approach them, obviously, look at just activating the ones that are out of the box if you can, then adjusting maybe with some prompt managements for a bit of configuration. And then, of course, you can move into the custom skill as you need. And when should you consider building it? Well, as we're talking about there, typically, if you're looking at custom tables or fields and we want to drive pieces around that, this is a great use case for it. Generative AI, obviously, into those. This is where to do that from. You could be a partner, trying to create something or net new offerings to a customer. Lots of different use cases, but it's in that more niche sort of use case area. And the Now Assist skill kit, which we'll see as we go through the tool, we'll basically go in there. You can create a skill, look at the prompts, prompt editor, play around with that. We can augment those and ground them as we need. We can test against particular records. Then we can activate and trigger things like our UI actions and where those will work in terms of actually applying it. So yeah, at a high level flow, we want our input data. We're going to use things like flows and capability, all combined in that assist skill kits capability, activate it, configure it, and then deploy into the space. So a pretty kind of formulaic and easy way to do it. But in each of those, as an example, define the provider in the first place. It could be the ServiceNow LLM, of course, the Now LLM, but it could be bespoke ones. It could be your own ones. It could be the Azure OpenAI, etc. That's all available. And then we're going to develop the skills by giving an input source, using a prompt. And we'll talk about temperature and how creative we want that response to be, and then using test data to make sure that we can ground that specifically and then deploy into the UI and workspace. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this particular example is going to be a knowledge article coaching, where the idea is that we're going to create a very specific prompt to look at knowledge articles, and then focus on 4 specific criteria, send that up to the LLM, and then hopefully create a feedback task off the back of it. So we'll just jump into the lab and we'll look into an environment that I've got, and we'll walk through that in situ. Just before, and I'll jump onto the page, there's some really good capabilities and articles out there that you can look at. So just dive in there. Some of those, just talking about articles, you've got the documentation. So obviously go into ServiceNow. We can look at the Now Assist skill kit. There's also some great stuff up on communities. This one in particular, talking about NASC, some great sort of centralized pieces in terms of frequently asked questions, capabilities, and links. So I really recommend going and having a look at that as well. So let's jump into my tool. And as I mentioned, I've already pre-configured so that my user has the correct roles that we spoke about in the slide deck. So we're going to be able to go in and straight away see the Now Assist skill kit. I'll just quickly show you that. So if I go in here, this is now visible to me. I can go to the home. I can see some pre-configured ones that I've already got in there, but we're going to create a new skill as we go through this piece here. So we're going to call it knowledge article analysis. Analysis. We're using our LLM generic, and we're going to create a skill. And then we jump into the actual sort of prompt and the skill piece that we can build out. So let's just give this the same name. I'm going to save that change. And the first thing we want to do is look at our input. So in the input, we're going to hit new input. Could be record strings, numbers, Boolean, could be a JSON object, JSON array, but we're going to select just a record. This could be your custom tables, of course, but we're interested in the knowledge article. And then we're going to choose a test record. I know in my system, this one in particular is not great, so I'm going to add that one in and add our skill input. So we can see our inputs in there. We're going to save that. And then we're going to create a prompt. So obviously you get an out-of-box one, but we're not going to use that. I have actually got this on a Word document just for expediting, but we'll walk through it in a second once I've got it over here. Just bear with me. We can bring that in. So here we go. Here's a classic one. And remember, we're grounded in terms of using LLM and ServiceNow. So if we're using the nomenclature and the wording that fits what we're looking at, we should get some great kind of results. I'll quickly just undo this. So the first thing we want to look at, I'm given in there, we've got 4 specific criteria: clarity and conciseness, comprehensiveness, grammar and language, usability. And we're telling the model, what we're looking for in each of those areas. We're also saying to evaluate particular instructions and deem what's unsatisfactory and provide some overall improvement suggestions. And I quickly kind of remove this. You can insert anything from the record, in this case, right, because I'm doing a record. So what we're actually interested in is the article body. And then you can say I clicked and that was available in. So we're just going to save that. And hopefully that prompt makes sense in terms of what we're trying to do with it. Just a quick one here on configurations as well. There's a little button on the side. Hopefully you saw that. You can come in and there's something we call temperature. So the temperature determines the randomness and creativity of the output. So basically the higher a temperature value leads to more diverse and creative text, while a lower value, e.g. like what we got here, 0.2, results in more focused and deterministic text. So up to you how you kind of want to configure that. Obviously, like I said, the more focused and deterministic, the lower the number towards 0 you should go. And then we've got things like tokens. So obviously output tokens refer to the individual units of information produced by an AI model after processing the input data, and they collectively sort of form the generated text code, etc., which is typically known as completion. So you can kind of give that maximum piece that goes into that. And the reason is obviously from analysis capability, there's a whole heap of information in terms of looking at your analysis compliance. And one of the things we have is our analysis overview document, which you can find and download. And this basically tells you all the areas in terms of what assist is triggered from where and how you're using a licensing. So in particular, we're interested in that sort of custom one. So anything up to 1,000 is equal to 1 assist. More than 1,000, then obviously considered to multiple calls go into that. And then we have our usage conditions. So we can add in, potentially it's high priority, or there might be something more specific we're looking at, and we can use that condition. But for this use case, we're not going to do that. So what I want to do now is quickly sort of test this record. So we're going to run the tests, run that test against a particular knowledge article, and then see what we get back. And again, this knowledge article was particularly chosen because, perfect. So we're getting our results, unsatisfactory, satisfactory, and some suggestions that are coming onto that. And obviously you can see a grounded prompt, and we can keep tweaking the prompt if we needed to make sure that we get the right results. And again, LLM models are already grounded for the SN platform. So once we're happy with that, we can save this. We can finalize this prompt. I'm just going to hit that here. Finalize the prompt that comes into it. And then depending on what I'm doing, so you'll see this, it says edit the version. You can always update and create new versions or clone the new one. All will happen is you'll see in the prompt here, there'll be a new version based off of it. So yes, I'm going to lock it in, but that doesn't mean you can no longer sort of update it. So you can always come back in and update the prompt if that's something you need to do from there. So now we've looked at that, what we want to do is look at the deployment settings. So we're going to go into skill settings, which is the next tab along. We've got our general information there, and then look at the deployment settings. And this is where it's going to sit inside of the Now Assist sort of overview, which we're used to from the out of the box. So I'm just going to select platform for this one. It's going to be create a new feature, and this is going to be knowledge. Excuse me, knowledge article analysis. Let's save that. And then down here, I can create a UI action. So this will be, how does it get deployed? So we're going to use a UI action, and we're going to base that on the knowledge table. Let's save that. And then we're going to go and create that UI action. So straight away from here, we can link to it. What it was done is taken the generic data points, so the IDs for the capability of skill config, so we don't want to mess around with those, and created a UI action that's not active. And what we can do is update, and this could be hitting workflows and code. You can, the world's your oyster in terms of what you go and do, and thus you can see sort of the capability of custom skills really opens that kind of world. So what I'm going to do is just update this script. And what it's going to do, we want it to create a feedback record and then attach a feedback task to that record that can be assigned to someone based off of what's come from the AI model as it's come through. So again, I've just copied this into a Word document to speed this section up. And again, we don't want to touch that top part, but we can play around with this and put in that code. I'll just quickly walk you through the code. Essentially, we're getting the output response from the LLM. We're just initializing, creating a feedback record, inserting that, and then we're creating, initializing, and relating a feedback task to that. And we're simply putting the output of the AI model LLM that's come back into that task, and then that can be assigned to someone to look at. If of course, you can do anything with this. You don't have to do it that way. But it's just a way of doing it. Just noticed I don't need both of these. I'm going to gray out this one. Keep the other link in there, and I need to put my environment so that we are making sure that's correct. And that goes in. That looks good. Okay, so we should go and save this. No, it's not happy with something. Okay, let's have a look. 921. Okay, yeah, looks like there's a punctuation issue there. That's better. Let's save that. And of course, yeah, I need to, don't forget to make it active, sort of as it's generated as inactive. Then once we're happy with it, I can make that active. So now I can pop back to our Assist. We've got our deployment settings. That's all ready. We're happy with that. Just go back to our prompt editor. Everything seems to be in play there. So now we're going to simply publish this. And as I talked about before, you can create different versions. So if I went back in and updated, it would create a new version. I'd see those generate here, but obviously I'm just going to select this one. I'm going to hit publish. And that should now show up. If I hit onto the link, this should drop me straight into the feature that I've just created. Of course, you could go the normal route through the overview, or whichever one of these tabs if you wanted to land on them. Into my analysis feature. We put it on the platform, so we have to click on that. And then we should see our new capability, but obviously it's not activated yet. So we're going to go into those details. We're going to activate this skill. You can see that's displayed. Save, continue, activate it. Great, so that's now running. So let's go test it out. So we're going to look at our knowledge. And then again, we're going to pick up that one which we know is not great. We should now see, which we do, our UI action based off a custom skill. We're going to hit this. It's going to go away and run against that article using the prompt. Perfect. And then create that feedback task for us as we desired. And then we've got a direct link into that. And again, we can see the outputs, some overall suggestions. And then that could be assigned to someone, right, and worked on, or it could hit flows and workflows, etc. That goes on from that. So I hope that was useful, gets the kind of flavor going in terms of that analysis skill. Looking forward to seeing what people create and how we build out on this together and your user journey with it. Don't forget all those kind of useful links and places to go for it. And yeah, happy coding and hope you enjoyed the custom skill. Thank you.